Okay guys, here we go. We've got a test coming up, and this is our last assignment for the unit, which means it's kind of like a review. We're going to take all of the things we've talked about this unit and see if you can decide when it's best to use which method to solve your system of equations. So, for example, here, it's going to kind of tell you. You just want to look at your equations and see this. If you see x equals or y equals in one or both of the equations, it's good to use substitution. If everything is lined up, it's good to use elimination. If you see both of those, you could use either. And I don't know why I didn't put this on here. Maybe I probably should. But it seems reasonable to me that if both equations look like they're written in slope-intercept form, you could use graphing. Okay? So, I don't know. Maybe I should change that. I might add that. So this might look different when you get your homework assignment. Okay. So, here, level 1. You don't need to solve these systems of equations, but you do need to say how you would solve them. So, if I just kind of follow these, I see x equals. So it seems like that would be substitution. Not everything is lined up. Like if you look here, you've got x's, and then that goes equal, and that goes y, and the y. So those are kind of switched, so elimination would not be good here. Let's come over to question 2. Well, I don't see x equals, and I don't see y equals, but everything is lined up. So we've got x's, y's, equals. That seems like a good elimination question. Okay, hold on. My dog is like freaking out. 1 second, he might need to go potty. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. We're good. Alright, this last question. Here. Should I solve this using substitution or elimination? Okay, well, both equations have y equals, and everything's lined up. Well, heck, this looks like we could use substitution. I think we could also use elimination. And, for whatever reason I didn't include it, I'm sure there was a good reason at the time, we could also use graphing. Okay, so that's pretty neat. Oh, math. So great. Okay, so this says use either substitution or elimination, whichever you prefer, to solve each of these equations. All answers must be written as ordered pairs. Okay, I think that we can handle that. Alright, so for this section, I'm going to answer questions 4, 7, and 8. So just be aware, that's kind of the game plan here. Alright, I know that my answers are going to be ordered pairs. Like this. Oops, boop. And let's go ahead. Okay, so question 4. Well, I see both an x equals and a y equals. It seems like substitution is probably going to be the way to go. Well, it already told me that x equals 3. This is really nice. I'm going to go ahead and plug that 3 in for this x. Y equals negative 7 times 3 minus 1. Is that what that said? Yeah. Alright, negative 7 times 3 is negative 21 minus 1. So y equals negative 22. Awesome. Okay. That's the answer. Now, I'm highly recommending you go through and check your answers. I'm not going to check the answers in this video because I spent so much time checking answers in the other videos that if you need help learning how to check your answers in preparation for this test, you need to go over there and you need to watch those videos to see that. Okay, question 7. Well, I don't see well, I do see an x equals. Okay, that's good. But not everything's lined up because I got x's, equals. Okay, so things are not lined up, but I do see x equals. I'm going to go ahead and do substitution one more time, but this one looks like it's probably going to be more difficult. I know that x equals that stuff, so I'm going to substitute that in for that x up there. I'm going to use this space up here. So 2, and then I need parentheses because it's being multiplied by all of this stuff, times negative 3y minus 12 minus 4y equals negative 4. Okay, so this looks like a box of doom. We're solving for y, but I've got 2 y's in parentheses I've got to take care of first. So let's go ahead and distribute. So that's going to be negative 6y minus 24 minus 4y equals negative 4. Now I know some of you are so tempted to add 6y here and here. But remember, these are on the same side of the equal sign, so you can't do that. That trick only works when they're on opposite sides of the equal sign. If they're on the same side of the equal sign, it's even easier because we're just going to put them together. Negative 6y and negative 4y is negative 10y minus 24 equals negative 4. So y is being multiplied by negative 10 and then subtracted by 24. So to do the opposite stuff backwards, I need to add 24 to both sides. Okay, so then negative 10y is going to equal 20 divided by negative 10, and y is going to equal negative 2. Okay, now negative 2 needs to go in for that y right there. Or it could go into the top equation, but to me this just looks a lot easier. It's going to tell me flat out what x equals. So x is going to equal negative 3 times negative 2 minus 12. That's going to be 6 minus 12, which is going to equal negative 6. And please go back and check your work. Okay? It's a good habit to get into right before your test. Question 8. Okay, so I don't see x equals or y equals, so substitution probably isn't going to be great. But yes, things are lined up. X's, y's, equals, numbers. Okay? So now I'm going to go through my 3 big questions. Question 1, is everything lined up? Well, yeah, we just barely talked about how everything's lined up. Question 2, do we have the same number with the same letter? Yeah, we do. We have 5y and 5y right there. Question 3, are those 5's opposite signs? Totally. Positive 5y and a negative 5y. So I'm going to underline these, add straight down. Let me get my calculator. I can already tell I'm going to need it. So 8x, or negative 2x plus 8x is going to be 6x. My y's eliminate. And then, oh my gosh, what is that going to be? Negative 43 plus 67 is 24. Divide both sides by 6, and x equals 4. Okay? Now, a couple of options here. We could go through. It would not be that difficult to eliminate our x's. Notice here, if I multiply this whole top equation by 4, then I would have negative 8x and an 8x. And then I could solve for y. That's totally one option that is viable. It works. The other option is to plug this x in for there. The other one is to plug the x in for there. So many things. You decide what works best for you. For myself, I actually love elimination enough that I'm going to go through and do the elimination. I seem to make less mistakes when I eliminate than when I plug in. Okay, so I'm going to kind of re-go through those questions, but this time with the idea that I need to eliminate my x's. Everything is still lined up, that hasn't changed, but this time I don't have the same number with the same letter. But we did just barely talk about how we could multiply this whole top equation by 4, and why did I draw this line? And that would help us eliminate the x's. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to write my answer below that system. So 4 times negative 2x is going to be negative 8x. 4 times 5y is going to be 20y. Oh man, and 4 times negative 43, calculator, here we go. That's going to be negative 172. I'm going to underline that. I'm going to kind of scribble this out because I'm not going to be using it anymore. I'm going to use my new equation. Then I'm going to add straight down. My x's eliminate, and it leaves me with 15y equals, holy cow, what is that? 67 plus negative 172 is going to be negative 105. Okay, divide both sides by 15. Boop. So negative 105 divided by 15, and I got the y equals 7. Did you solve that in a different way and get the same number? I hope so. And again, we could double check this by plugging this whole ordered pair into both of the original equations and making sure we're getting the same number on both sides of that equation. Alright, next page, level 3. Now, I'm not going to actually solve these because I really think these are simple enough for you to solve. Maybe, I'll explain what the question is saying. We've got the exact same system of equations here for question 10, and then we've got the same system of equations for 11. Now, a really good level 3 student would be able to see a system of equations, and even though one way is easier than the other, for example, this first system would be so easy to graph, it actually would be really easy to substitute and easy to eliminate. So your job with this one is to solve that in all 3 ways. Okay? Same thing down here. It would be a little, like it's super easy to graph this one. It's okay to do substitution and elimination. You kind of got to take care of these fractions, but we've talked about fraction anxiety before. You can do that. Okay? So the idea here is that good level 3 students are flexible. They can solve a system in a lot of different ways. So you need to do that. Your other hint is it's the same system of equations, so your answers are going to be the same. So I'm going to be looking for the work. Okay? But there you go. That was our review video. And then down here you get to be a teacher. I love be a teacher questions. Alright, so there's your video. I hope that was helpful for you. If you need help before the test, come see me at Bear Time or before school and after school, and I'm more than happy to help you with stuff. Okay, talk to you later.